Hi, my name is V and I'm the 2D and 3D character artist from Danger Noodle Studios working on Scavenger. Today I'm gonna show you my 2D to 3D workflow featuring Kiro. I mainly work with Clip Studio Paint, which I've been using for quite a few years already, so I'm more comfortable working in that. These are actually the first few sketches I've made without like a concrete art bible. We only knew that we wanted a non-human character with a small companion by his side. At this point we've already figured out our art bible and what kind of aesthetic we wanted to go for. I was also working on some enemies and the companion at the same time, so it was a lot of silhouette drawing, carving out the features, figuring out what would work in our game and what would not. And it was also pretty important for me to always have that second opinion from our group. If I've overlooked some details that I should include in the character, if there's some things that just don't make sense at all. Especially when I'm in the flow of drawing, I sometimes forget some things and it happens. It's pretty normal, I would say, but it's always great to have some people to tell you if something's off or not. And this is basically the final drawing I've made of Kiro. I did not make a turnaround sheet because I was the one who was gonna do the 3D modeling, so I basically already knew how I want him to look like in 3D. But I might actually go back and do one just for fun because I do like making turnaround sheets for my characters. After finishing my 2D concept, I go straight into ZBrush to block out the character, and I always put the reference behind my ZBrush window to use the see-through function so that I can get the proportions and everything right. But I do end up fixing and tweaking a lot of things in this process, especially when I add the details, since they will look a bit different in 3D than they do in 2D. And I did struggle a lot with the pants because I don't have that much experience with 3D modeling, but I still really enjoyed the sculpting process because it was a lot of fun and I just really like seeing my characters come to life. The high poly model is I'm gonna get exported from ZBrush into Maya, and that's where I do all of my retopo. And at this point there's like a lot of going back and forth with the technical artist in our team, Sue, and she's the person who has to rig our characters, and we're still trying out a combination of animations from Maya and the cloth simulations in Unreal Engine for the poncho, which is why our character currently has 3 different UV sets, and the poncho is the cloth that's gonna get simulated, but that might change in the future. As you might have noticed, the eyes from Kiro are pretty much the only facial features that can be animated to show any motion, so we added some lens shapes to give him a small range and also a blink so he doesn't appear too lifeless. It will definitely help the player understand Kiro more since he does not talk a lot, but it will still, give him the mysterious look that we are going for. I do all my baking and texturing in Substance Painter, and I always have to be careful to properly name my meshes so it bakes smoothly. I always start out by blocking each piece with their color and adjusting the colors to match the reference that I made. But we did end up changing the colors to warmer red tone colors since our character was blending into the background too much, which can be good for some games, but we wanted our main character to stand out a lot more. Since we were going for a more semi-realistic style with some stylized features in it, I used a lot of different generators to create the different dirt textures and some edgeware. I also ended up applying some gradients and some more depth for the shadows, so it looks a little bit more stylized. I honestly still have a lot to learn about texturing, but I feel like I'm always learning a little bit more whenever I texture. Once I'm somewhat done with texturing, I import everything into Unreal Engine to see if the textures look good in the environment around him, or if there are some things that I've overlooked while I was texturing, and just overall how it feels like to see the character textured in the game. Of course, everything you're seeing right now is still a work in progress. It's all still very much not ready, but you can already see the melee weapon of our character that I've also made, and I'm really happy that it turned out well and fits well into the back pocket. But there is still a lot of things that we need to experiment with, especially the custom relations for the poncho and the belts around it, since those can be a big challenge. Well, that's basically it for me though, but I hope you enjoyed seeing my process from 2D to 3D and how we created Kiro. There's still a lot of things that might change in the future, but please look forward to more updates and devlogs from Danger Noodle Studios on our current project, Scavenger. I hope we will learn to love our characters as much as we do, and I hope you'll have a great day. Thank you for watching!